know.
What are your thoughts on Java?
I did not like it.
So you started.
Feel sometimes I'm just so much that I have to do this, I have to do this. Like I have to utilize every waking hour. Otherwise, I feel guilty.
Yeah, I'm very.
Like I'll just talk about something that, you know, they want to discuss that they would not discuss out in the open. Because still, I feel when you go back to India, there are some hush-hush topics. And I'm pretty liberal. My mother is like, just, you know, just don't be yourself all the time. Just try to calm down a little bit. But you don't believe in yourself. Trust me, the world, the social media, everything can convince you in like a click of a finger that, you know, you're not enough.
But welcome back to Golan's Garage, a place where we talk about facts and feelings. And today I have with me a friend of mine who's also an Instagram enthusiast. A very big name on Seattle scene in Instagram.
Woo.
Woo as well. Her Instagram probably genre is lifestyle, travel, fitness, and fashion and tech and so many. I can like keep going on with the list of things that she is like super passionate about. But one of the things that I really like about her Instagram is every morning she like posts something
motivates me to work out.
Like not just motivates her to work out, but she posts something so inspiring that I always have a smile on my face whenever I look at Instagram. Welcome Ankita Mishra to the podcast. How are you feeling?
Hi, thank you so much, Golan, for that introduction.
Woo.
Thank you.
Dude.
I'm feeling great. It's fun to be here with both of you. Right.
So Ankita, let's start off with the first thing that I had in my mind, right? Right now, people who are watching probably are watching because they know the Instagram figure Ankita Mishra, who they have seen a lot of posts about, right? But they do not know the actual inside deeds of what Ankita Mishra is like on a personal or a professional level, right? So if you can give us a small 2-3 minute flashback of what your credentials are professionally and personally, that will be a great insight for all the users interested in looking at you.
Absolutely. So my name is Ankita Mishra and I am a product manager at Microsoft Office 365 team. So my day-to-day is generally managing developers, UX designers, and my customers are enterprise customers. So I deal with M365 admins. That's on the professional side. On the personal side, I'm a brown girl in tech. That is that is my blog, and that is something I was born and brought up in India, and I moved to Seattle 3 years ago. And I live with my fiance and my dog Gigi.
Nice. So give us a flashback of how you came to US. How you came to Seattle? How did the journey start, and when did your Instagram journey start as well?
Okay, absolutely. So I was in India and I wanted to, I did my undergrad in chemical engineering.
Oh, did you?
What?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's a fun fact.
Chemical engineering. Wow.
Yes. So
Chemical engineering, say, product manager, please tell us how.
I know. So backstory, a little bit more back. I wanted to do not something in engineering or doctor. That's what the profession your parents give you. They're like, be a doctor, be an engineer, be a lawyer. And I was like, this is also boring. I want to do something in commerce maybe. And I'm super geeky. I was one of the toppers. I got like 97%. And in my 12th, and I was like, okay, I can pick up commerce in Delhi University and learn economics, maths, literature, and do something fun. But my father was like, no, you have to be an engineer. So I was like, okay, now I was a rebel. So I was like, I don't want to do computer science. Let me do chemical.
Why didn't you want to do CS?
Yeah, so it was just like I wanted to try something new, and chemicals always intrigued me in the way that how things are made, how things happen, how petroleum is made. I used to question these things as a kid.
Nice.
So when I came to know that chemical engineering is nothing like chemistry, you don't sit, be in the labs and do things, but you learn about petrochemicals, you learn about hydrodynamics and all those things. I was like, okay, cool, sign me up. I'll be a chemical engineer. I got a job also, but then again, parents were like, how will you go and work in a plant where the sex ratio...
Oh, you actually got a job at a plant? Like at an oil rig? Or?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I did my internship in IOCL,
and
which
where is this?
It's in Mathura. Near Mathura, so but I was just like, you know what, my parents were like, you cannot. So I thought and then my plan as a kid, this is funny, when I was, I think, in 7th grade, I watched some movies and I always wanted to come to United States. So my plan was always to come to US for my master's because undergrad was so expensive. I even tried looking into the numbers,
expensive.
But and my father was not into business. He was in service class. So I was just like, okay, let me try masters. And my plan was always to United States for study. So I was like, okay, I got a job in Infosys too, because Infosys and all these companies come for mass placements. So I was a chemical engineer, but they were ready to take me, and they were like, we'll teach you 3 months. And I got into Infosys. I went to Mysore, did my training.
There?
Yeah, so I did my training in Java, which is so different.
So you're actually coding Java?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I didn't know any of this.
I know.
What are your thoughts on Java?
I did not like it.
So you started as in Infosys as a developer?
No, so it was system engineers. So they did teach me Java, make me understand SQL, Java basics. And then I went to Bangalore, where I did a major project for Pfizer, worked on SQL.
Like the Pfizer vaccines.
The healthcare company Pfizer, they were my customer.
Wow.
And I was working on the SQL databases side for them. And that's where I gave my GMAT and my TOEFL, and I decided to do an MBA. I got a scholarship, which was around 90% scholarship in University of Arizona, Ella College of Management. And I was like, yeah, this is the thing. I'm going to America. I came here. And then I enrolled for MBA, interestingly. And after my first semester, because of my GPA, they said, you can also enroll in a different program. So MIS was there.
Ooh, I did MIS in undergrad.
What is MIS?
Management
Sorry, I'm
Information
like
Systems.
dumb in these things. Sorry.
Management Information Systems.
And what does that entail? Is it like MBA, or is it like?
So it's like.
IT?
I mean, it's not like a MS. It's like it gives you a broader knowledge, not the in-depth knowledge of the databases, computer systems, and, you know, business intelligence kind of.
Yeah, it's like a mix of business and CS, like business technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And my school, University of Arizona, comes in the top 3
It's really
in
good.
US
Yeah.
in MS,
It's really
in
good.
MIS. So I got into that. So that's why I'm a dual major.
So you did MBA and MIS?
MIS. I did dual majors. Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Look at these two girls talking about masters.
No,
and
I didn't
here
know you
I
had
am
2
sitting
degrees.
with just
I
a
thought you
bachelor's.
just had MIS.
No, I had to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think the MBA has helped you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like coming from India, I think understanding the business of a new country where it's so culturally different, MBA really helped me in understanding the customer mindset over here and how to communicate your ideas. India's amazing in that sense too, but it's just like the way business is dealt here and then how you present your ideas. That is something that MBA gave me an edge. And then MIS helped me because I was from a non-ComSci background in getting that knowledge. So when I interviewed for Microsoft, interestingly, both my degrees came into play because they wanted a PM, a product
PM
manager.
is the perfect background with an MBA and MIS.
Exactly. So that's how I landed into product management.
Question. So did you end up pursuing MBA and MIS because of your love for studies? Because you said you're a geek as well, right? Or for the love of US? Because I'll give you an insight. The only reason I started applying for jobs in US was because I'd never been to a foreign country ever. Like my parents used to travel a lot, and I was like, shit, dude, I also need to go. So starting like when I was in bachelor's, I'm like, no, I have to get out of my bachelor's with a job in hand, not in India, outside of India. That was the only goal. And I never thought ki I'll pursue studies because I was good in studies, but I was never very attached to it. I was not a geek as such. I was never enthusiastic, or I was never intrigued by how teaching is done in India. So I only wanted to come to US just to travel here. And just to come here and just to because I was super enthralled by the movies out there. I was like, how the hell is the downtown of the city looks like this, whereas the place I am from, Jamshedpur or from Bangalore, right, they don't look anything like that, remotely like that. So what was the reason for it? Is it the geeky side in you, or both?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I said, growing up, 7th grade, I decided I want to go to United States. That time I did not know how the education system was.
Wait, you knew that you're going to come to US right in 7th grade?
I told my parents and they laughed. Like, if you meet my parents ever and talk to them, I always told them, and they used to laugh that what is this girl saying? This will not happen, because I'm the first one to come so far to study. Wow. So I'm the first gen to come to United States. And I feel at 7th grade, it was that. But when I was looking for SATs and undergrad, it was also education. So I'm a big geek. Like, MIS was like... STEM, it was STEM, so that was one of the reasons, being super honest and frank here. But once I started pursuing that degree, I really loved it.
Yeah,
and
was amazing.
Even I thought that, you know, let me do PhD or something if I get into Stanford or Harvard. But then I stopped myself.
I was going to ask you, why not PhD then?
Dude, PhD I think adds no value unless you really love what it is that you want to go get a doctorate in.
She was super enthusiastic about
But what made you not want to go get a PhD then?
Yeah, because I first of all, I got an internship in Microsoft, so that taste of money was there.
Yeah, dude.
But
I love the fact that you're candid about it. Many people don't talk about how money's a big factor when you like move to US.
I feel that is, right? It's so expensive, and especially when the conversion rate, the conversion rate of rupee to dollar. I mean, I did not want it to be dependent on my parents forever. So that was another reason that if I'm studying, who will pay the fees? Because my father was the only... he retired in 2020, so he was the only earning member of the family, and then my brother was studying, I was studying, so I had to get on my feet, and then he was paying for my travels here, my lodging here, though I got a RA, so I was paying for my food and other expenses. So it was really important for me to start earning as fast as I can, because it was just so expensive.
It's a sign of independence.
Exactly. So I want to study, so I'm a learner, I'm an avid learner, so I keep reading things, I keep studying things. But I felt that degree wasn't necessary at that point in my life. I just felt that earning money was really important because my father was retiring in 2020 and I wanted to support my family. So that took priority.
Was Microsoft the dream job, or what? Like, walk us through.
What was a dream job? When you were in UFA,
I think
right?
Microsoft was a dream job coming for me as well. I graduated and Microsoft was a dream.
Why though? If it was a dream job, why though?
Yeah, that's another interesting question. So in UFA, where I studied, there was this consulting projects where outside clients used to come, and this was like in real time. They used to give a part of the problem because there were students who were resolving them, so they don't have to pay. Only thing was that they were coming and they were in sponsorship with the university. So I worked with Microsoft in that, and I led that project. I was the team lead, and I really loved the culture. Like when I spoke to Microsoft people, they told me about how things are done. So my first internship, interestingly, was in Nationwide Insurance in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, really?
In 2017. Yeah, so I was a data analyst there. And I liked it. It was cool. It was fun. But it was not something that was pushing me on my, beyond my limits or making me learn something new. And I always found that passion of technology, especially after come to United States, was so high. Yeah. And then when I did my project with Microsoft, I was like, this is the company.
And dude, it's Microsoft. I mean, I mean, they've proven their worth consistently. They're 50 years old and they're still one of the best companies in the world. Right.
And another reason was also I'm very much into women empowerment, and then how the culture is and how much you can support it. So I also read about what initiatives they take. Then Melinda Gates. And I was like, you know what, this is something that is with my principle, my belief system, my values, and it is a good job. Why not? So I tried for Microsoft.
Dude, you're so you are taking so much pride in showing that hey, you valued studies so much, you were a geek. But then how did your content
where did the content
how did it switch from your mindset of being a geek to showcasing the world that hey, you're a fitness freak as well?
She probably is still a geek.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
not taking that away from you, but why do you not portray that on your social media? Why are these 4 verticals like lifestyle, travel, fitness? Is it close to your heart as well, like hobbies? Or is that something that you're doing it consciously that, hey, I don't want to show that geeky side of mine to the world? For example, like me, right? I don't want to show my geeky side ever to the world.
Really?
I just want to show my...
Did you show your geeky side on this podcast?
Sometimes it ends up happening that in a place where I like to be funny a lot, right? And that's the thing that I go forward. That's why my Instagram is always super weird and super funny stuff. But that's one of the reasons why I post that on my social media. Is that the reason why you showcase these 4 verticals in your Instagram as well?
Oh yeah, what was your Instagram journey?
Okay, so I'll answer all the questions.
All of them.
Yes, we bombarded you with so many questions.
I feel I never hide parts of myself. I just feel the way I am, I showcase that. So all my close people know I'm a geek, and I feel that there are different social platforms and how you give that content. Because the people who are receiving that content is a different audience and different mindset, right? So I have my own blog, which is browngirlintech.com, which is where I portray that geek side of me. I write blogs. LinkedIn is another powerful platform where I put my thoughts on product management, on other areas of life. But when it comes to Instagram, social, like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, I feel it's more like, what are your hobbies? Like you said, what are your things that you do other than work? Because I'm a total believer that you cannot define your life from 9 to 5. What job do you do? Because I feel the job, in today's world, right? The job doesn't define you. It's your skills, it's your mindset.
Correct.
And I believe that I have so many other things other than just showcasing Microsoft product management.
Yeah.
So I use different platforms to showcase different skills. And Instagram is a platform where I felt people needed a lot of motivation when it comes to fitness, travel, lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And that is something I love sharing. I mean, so...
Is that something very dear to your heart? Like fitness and travel and lifestyle, because I'm going to get into lifestyle as well, because one of the funniest conversations I had with my mom yesterday was that one of the epiphanies I've had over a course of time is that during my teenage years and early 20s, I always used to think that whatever my friends are saying is always correct and whatever my parents are saying is always wrong, right? And as I've grown over the years, I've realized how my parents were correct in so many things.
Yeah.
Like that's an epiphany that I had, right? And that's one of the major lifestyle changes that happened with me, that okay, if I do something, I do consider or value their opinion as well. So similar to that, what are the things that you've unlearned, and what are the things that you're proud that you did in your 20s as well?
Okay, so I think there are again a couple of questions. So let me take the fitness part first. Yeah, the fitness is very close to my heart. I am an avid gym freak. That's another thing that I love doing.
How do you get motivated? Because I have no motivation to go to the
as
gym.
many people do.
Like, I don't know where, like, girl, where does it come from?
I just think it's loving my body. I just want to feel the best. I want to have the energy to do the things that I'm doing, because I'm juggling a lot of things with my work, with my personal life, professional life, social media. And I feel it just keeps me more disciplined, more consistent.
Yeah, discipline.
And then I feel there was a phase in my life in Bangalore. Before that, I did not work out. So how my life was, how my thoughts was. And from the point I started working out, how it changed my life.
How has it changed you?
It has changed my outlook, perspective, what I want in my life, my whole ideology of living, and what kind of people, I should have closer to me, because I feel you need to love your body. Like every food that you put, it has an impact on your body and your mind. And for me, mind is very important, because I feel that is the biggest asset. And for me, body is very important, because that makes me move, that makes me do so many things in a day. So fitness comes, I think health is number one. If there's no health, whatever money, whatever status, whatever you have in life, you cannot use it to the full potential. So
I think this is something that Mehak and I agree on you totally as well.
We always say, I'm always just like, dude, I'm so inspired by how much discipline, and I think you nailed it. A lot of people have motivation, but motivation only takes you so far.
It's like planning versus execution, right?
Yeah.
So how did you build that discipline? Because at some point everybody gets tired, but that discipline is what's going to take you to the gym. The discipline is what's going to actually keep you going day in and day out when it's super cold and rainy in Seattle.
Where did the discipline come from?
Yeah.
Papa, Mummy?
No.
Or
so
friends?
I don't think so, Papa, Mummy. It was just like growing up, I was always that first bencher kind of a student. So I always had it ingrained, like what are my goals and what I have to achieve. And then it was just very laser focused, that nobody can pursue, move me away from my goal. And I just feel I like doing disciplined things, and I like having a routine. That's how I am as an individual. And that just helped me in different areas or different facets of my life, where I can wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a workout, go for a run. And I'll keep that as a priority, even if, I'm on my periods, for example.
Wow.
First day I miss the gym because I just feel I get cramps. But second day I'm in the gym. I'm just like, you know what? I need to work out, because this is good for my body.
So you've really built it as a habit. So do you work out? What's the workout schedule? Like Monday through Friday, or every day, or?
So I try working out 5 to 6 days in a week.
Wow.
And if I lift more in a week, then I do 5 days, just because my body is so sore that I need rest, and I need my body to take that rest, take that food. But mostly I try minimum 5 and maximum 6. I never do 7 days a week, just because it's not good for your body.
Do you work out on the weekends?
If I've missed a weekday, which happens with the whole work-life schedule. So yes, I do work out on the weekends, but I try to do... So that's another tip that I can give to everybody watching, is that, if you try to find it very difficult, as your day moves along, it becomes more challenging, because you see social media, you get affected by somebody's post, you see somebody's traveling, you get affected by that. Your manager tells you something, you get affected by that.
Totally.
So, by the time 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. hits, you're already so exhausted mentally that you just want to Netflix and chill, or you just want to go to your favorite restaurant and eat something good, because you have been troubled the whole day, right? So just get it off your list. That's what I do. Like, first thing, my brain wakes up. Before it thinks a negative thought or it goes into a loop, I go to the gym, and all positive emotions flow after that. And when I come out, I'm done with the gym. Like, by the time 9 a.m. hits, I'm done with my workout, I'm done with my breakfast, and I'm sitting and I'm starting.
Walk us through your day, right? From the moment when you wake up.
And drop some gems about your routine, like morning routine, nighttime routine.
Tell people about what Ankita Mishra is.
Yeah, and you also said that your ability to wake up in the morning and have that routine starts the night before.
Yeah, that's one important tip. So this I'll give to my parents. So ever since I was a kid, and me and my brother, but we are very different. He's a night owl and I'm always the morning riser. So my parents made sure we sleep at 10, 11 max, and then no TV, no movies after 10 p.m. And that habit just got instilled in me in some ways that even when I went for my undergrad, I did it in a hostel. No parents were there. I could chill.
Wait, in a hostel you used to sleep at 10 o'clock?
Yeah. I mean, my roommates were really... On the days I had an exam, and I'm not kidding, like I used to study till 9 p.m. and then my brain was shut off. That's how I trained my body. And then I used to sleep by 9:30, 10. I used to wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. because I used to leave 60% of the course before 9 a.m. And I was like, okay, I'll just study, quickly understand, because my brain functions at maximum capacity in the morning. That's another thing. I would say that you don't have to be a morning person if you realize that your brain is at capacity at night.
Okay.
That means that is who you are and you cannot change that, right? What you need to empower is understand what really works for you. If night works for you, do it in the night. Keep your maximum job or whatever.
Golan's a night owl.
Yeah. So
I'm like in the middle and I'm trying to push myself. I don't know. I sometimes am very productive at night, but I want to be a morning person.
Yeah. On the longer run, it's
much better to be a morning person.
Every successful person, if you talk to any CEOs, it's proven that if you wake up early, that's how, if you go to our our ancestral time, people used to hunt, right? They used to wake up with the sunrise or before in dawn and then hunt for animals or hunt for food. And that's how we are built. That's how I believe in. So yes, that was ingrained in me because of my parents. But then because of my discipline, I still maintained it. And today, like you were asking about the morning routine. So yes, it starts. Every person who asks me, how do I wake up early? It's one night before. At what time do you sleep, right?
Yeah.
If I sleep, if I'm partying, there are moments like we had that amazing Bollywood masquerade ball and we were up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. we were partying. So that day I gave my body rest. So for me, 8 hours is very important for me to function. I cannot do 5 hours, 4 hours sleep. I don't understand humans who do that. Like, hats off to them. I cannot.
Human.
I cannot. That's hats off to you because I'm just like, I need minimum 7 and maximum 8 or 9 hours of sleep. So for me, I always calculate, okay, I'll go at 10 p.m. or 10:30 because Gigi is around. So sometimes it's 10:30. And then I wake up at 5:30. And then I plan my days in advance so that when I wake up, I know what I'm doing.
How much in advance? Like a night before or in the morning itself?
So a night before.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I plan like 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row, depending on the work.
Like you plan like what you're going to eat, like you meal prep, you plan everything, what workout class, like what you're doing. Okay.
So Rishabh and I, we meal prep just because we don't have time.
Yeah, meal prepping is excellent.
Yeah. I mean, oh
that's
my God,
the way
that's
to go.
So important. And then other than that, I also decide like what time I'm going to work out, what time I have meetings, because as a product manager, your day is all occupied with different people. So you don't have control over that. What you can control is what you do before that and after that. So that's what I try to control in my life.
Wow. That's amazing.
So the entire day is planned. So after work at 5, what do you do?
Yeah, so that's where I give my passion projects some time. If I have to write a blog or if I have to do a social media post or GG walks take place then, spend time with Rishabh takes place then, calling my friends, my family takes place then.
How do you balance all of it? I think I'm really curious, like how do you manage all of this stuff?
I think it's just like, it took
everything's in the calendar.
Yeah, I'm very scheduled. And I won't say everything, like my weekends most of the times are like free flowing if I'm spending with friends or going on a trip or, meeting some individuals. But I really like to utilize that's another thing that I need to pause at time and take that breather, and Rishabh also helps me in that because I feel sometimes I'm just so much that I have to do this, like I have to utilize every waking hour, otherwise I feel guilty.
Yeah, I'm very similar that way.
Yeah.
I think we're very type A.
Yeah.
Like I like to know, like if I've planned a trip, I have to hit everything.
Yes.
I have to do everything I said I was going to do that day.
And you have seen my Excel for a trip, right? So it's like my friends.
Yes.
They are in a very bad
I'm
spot.
like this
they are
too.
like, they don't like it. They are
I drag Golan. I'm like, we're going to go here, then here, then here, then here. You better be prepared.
I have an interesting question. So if you don't have a plan, will you freak out?
Do you freak out without plans?
I don't freak out. Actually, I don't freak out. So when we go on trips, when I'm going with my friends, I know my friends. They are really free flowing, and if I don't plan the day, they'll just keep on sleeping in the Airbnb. Sorry, people, but but with Rishabh, I let him take lead because he also likes planning.
Oh, he likes to plan.
He loves planning.
How do you guys manage that? Because like when you have two really alpha personalities, like I make sure Golan does no planning. All he does is drive.
Yeah, the thing is like she cares about planning. I care about the execution.
Right.
Because if two people start planning, right,
how
it's
do you do that?
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah.
Right? They start
do you guys
colliding.
not clash heads? Because I have a feeling that he's also very disciplined and very type A, and it's like, how do you guys manage that? Like who gets, when do they get the upper hand, or how does that work?
He's type A too, so I just give myself grace. Like if he wants to plan a trip, I'm like, just do it. I'll chill.
Do you trust him when he does it?
I trust him.
Okay.
I've trusted him, and he is like, so we have very similar personality and traits. Like he will take out time. He will also schedule. We'll go to the gym before we go and eat this, amazing at this amazing restaurant. And I love that because I don't have to tell him that, hey, you know what? I need to work out. Please, if we are going to eat the full day, please let's manage time. He will make sure we do that.
Nice.
So I feel it's balancing. Like we know each other from 2016. I've been dating for 4.5 years now.
Wow.
So we know wherever he wants to lead, I just take a back step. If I want to lead, he will take a back step.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle with that. I feel like I have a really hard time giving and like letting the other person run with it. And I think I do tend to be very controlling. So I
have a question on time management. So you said you're super efficient with time, right? You get up in the morning, you're done with your breakfast at 9, then job, then activities, and all the hobbies that you have, passion projects, you invest time. Do you think the fact that you already have a partner makes a big, like it's a big blessing in disguise? Because if you don't have a partner and if you're in late 20s, right, most of your time investment goes into looking for a partner or dating, right? So do you think having a partner is a blessing in disguise? What was your routine like this before dating as well, before dating your fiance as well?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, my routine was in University of Arizona too. I used to wake up early.
You used to work out there as well.
Like breakfast, go to my gym. And my gym was right next to my library. So I used to carry my clothes. I used to take bath there, get ready, go to the library. Did not come back to my house.
Yeah, I don't like to. I always used to sit in the library as well.
And my roommate and my friends always used to say, why are you paying rent? You should just sleep there.
In the library?
Yeah.
Like, I've never been to a library.
Dude, the library is so amazing.
Wait, what do you do in a library?
Work on the computer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a social hour, dude. People would go hang out in the library.
And then there's Starbucks, and everybody in Starbucks knew me, that I did not have to tell my name even. And then when Rishabh, we were like kind of dating in college, and then he came with me in that Starbucks, and everybody did not ask me my name, and they put like Ankita, and he's like, what is happening? Everybody knows you here. I'm like, yeah, I'm a regular customer.
That's so amazing.
Did you plan time for dating as well? Is what I'm coming to. Like, you're so scheduled with things, right? You're so like, you've planned things ahead. Did you plan that, hey, I need to invest this much time in dating as well, or going out on dates, or having fun at bar? Do you do that, or are you flexible in that way as well?
I'm very flexible there. And then I've just been lucky. I never have been on a dating app.
Wait, really?
Yes, so
you have zero experience on a dating app.
I did try it in Columbus, but I made pretty awesome girlfriends there. The one I went with to New Orleans, and then I just chilled with them. We used to go on to bars, and then we never were interested in dudes. We were just like chilling all the time. But I mean, most of my boyfriends and ex-boyfriends have been people I was friends with. Like,
that's a great way to start.
I always felt that way, that I'm more comfortable if I start dating a person I know about their pros, their cons, rather than just meeting somebody random on a dating app. I'm not against it. I'm I love the idea, because I, truthfully speaking, have downloaded apps, and Rishabh and we have just been through it because we want to know the technology. We want to know how this functions.
The fuss about it, right?
Yeah. Because imagine, as a product manager, I've never used that product, and I'm so intrigued, like, how are people finding their partners there? So that curiosity is there. But for me, I don't think so. I've ever had to really think about taking out time, because it just happened naturally all the time.
So what are your biggest learnings and tips that have helped you sustain a good relationship or
friendships for that matter
longer as well? Yeah, I feel you're really good with people in relationships. So what are how do you what's the best tips you have about just maintaining either romantic relationships or friendships?
I think it came with experiences since I have always lived in multiple places. So my father was in a government job and we hardly stayed in a city for 10 years was the longest because I was studying in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. But then we went Chandigarh for 5 years. We lived in Pune for some time. Then he moved to Delhi for 7 years.
That's so interesting.
So I always had to make friends, right? Whenever I entered a city. And my father is like extreme extrovert. My mother is introvert. And I am like a mix, I would say. There are days I just want to be in myself and, retrospect and not meet a lot of people. But then are days, you have seen me in social settings. I am like super social, super extroverts. So I feel it comes with experiences. Like I always, as a person, my father always taught me this, that when you are having that personal connection with someone, don't just try to take away things from that person. Try to give back. And that has helped me so much. Like, I'm not saying that all my friendships, all my relationships have worked out because every human is different, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you fall, you fail, you trust a person you shouldn't trust. And that has happened multiple times in friendships. But I feel I have given my best. So when I leave that person or I go away from that relationship, I know inside my heart that, I have done nothing wrong and my intent was always pure. So I feel if you do that with 10 people, you'll find 2 or 3 gems out of those 10. And those 2 or 3 people will always stay with you. So I have my best friend whom I became friends with when I was 6 years old in first grade. And she's still a friend. She still calls me up. We talk for like 1 hour, 2 hours. She's in India. I have another friend I met during my undergrad. She was in chemical engineering. And I went to meet her and her husband in Bangalore. We're super close. We share everything. And so I'm just saying that, when you meet such people, you just hold on to them and you have to be there for them. You
have to. It has to be. You have to give.
Yeah, you cannot take people and relationships for granted. And I just don't like when people do that or people just talk to you because there's a motive. Whenever that thing comes.
Do you feel like people do that because do you feel like, especially now that you have all the following on Instagram and all that, do you feel that way? Or how is it?
How do you segregate fake friendships versus genuine
especially
friendships?
like getting on. Everybody's so nice. Oh my God. Girl.
Have you encountered this, like people are fake nice to you? Or they're yes people,
or they just want to be friends with you
it.
just to be friends for they want to get a picture with you on Instagram.
The way you smiled, I'm pretty sure your answer is going to be yes.
No, so I mean, see, everybody, I don't classify people like they're good or bad. I just see how they treat others also who don't have that power, that authority, or a motive, like, if they cannot get it out of that individual, how they treat that individual versus me. And that speaks volumes, right? Because if they are just treating the people at power at that high level with that respect, with that fondness, that speaks about them, right? So when somebody comes and talks to me, I try to know their purpose.
Do you think you're very good at gauging people's vibes? You know what they say, the vibe, like your energy. Like and I think it's very important that what you're saying, that you can pick up on that.
Yeah, I've read a lot, like I read a lot. So I read a lot on people personalities and people motives. And it's just how they are, right? That is their purpose and nothing against them again. I'm just like, I want at this age when, your life, your job is there, you're doing your passion projects, you want to keep people who are there with you for who you are rather than not what things they are doing and how they can benefit from your social presence.
Do you think that's happened? Like, and I have a question, like being so popular on Instagram, how do you deal with the immense love, but then also the crazy hate? Because it's a high and low on social
media. Do you get hate?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously. Everybody who has any social presence, the day you have haters is the day you made it. That's what I think. Like you get immense love and you also get immense hate. It's both. Not all the time, always, but you'll get both. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, people give a lot of love and at the same time, they can also be really mean on social media.
Right. I just feel it comes with believing in yourself. Like I said, if you don't do anything wrong with anyone, you just don't feel bad about it. Like, that is something that I did not realize, but when I started living with Rishabh, so I lie on the bed and within like 2 minutes I'm asleep.
Okay.
Wow. And he couldn't believe it. Like, first night he was like, are you sleeping? Are you really sleeping? He woke me up 3 times. I'm like, I am sleeping, please let me sleep. And he's like, how can you sleep so peacefully? And I just felt after that we started like retrospecting and thinking, and I just feel, if you don't do that negative thing, if you don't have a motive in your mind, oh, I'm talking to so-and-so person, I have to text so-and-so person because this motive, you will always be so happy. So I just feel I cannot do that. I cannot do fakeness. So if there is hate, I just have grace for them. I'm just like, you know what? There's something happening in your life, and I get a lot of hate whenever I post about women empowerment. Right?
Why?
Like what kind of hate?
Did you get hate when you started Girl Squad?
A lot of guys texted me that, you know, why only girls? Now where is your like whole agenda of like what is this feminist
Equality,
stuff and all that? And people, there's no inequality. Women are getting paid more today. Women are more in tech jobs today.
Pseudo-intellectuals.
And then they are like, why are you promoting all this false data? Whenever I post about, you know, any issue that has a women concern, I get a lot of BS in my Instagram DMs. Or if I post something social, right, if there's a religion issue, which I feel, or a gay issue or something like that.
Any issue that you
Any
post.
issue where I take a stance and I say that, okay, fine, I support this because I am a liberal, I'm a feminist. People are like, okay. And I think the worst people are the kind of people who take a screenshot of my post and then send it to Rishabh. People have also done that, by the way. Like when I posted like bikini pictures or in my swimsuit, because South Asian females doing that, how can they do that, right?
Oh my God.
So they took a screenshot and they sent it to, and we were laughing about it because Rishabh showed me, and this dude is like, how are you allowing Ankita to wear all this and all that? And we were just laughing, and he literally wrote back, who am I to allow? And he blocked that person. I just feel people want something.
Do you get more hate from guys or girls?
It's a mix. It's a mix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, guys hate
I
you
would
as
think
well?
it would be more girls, but that's surprising.
Wait, why girls though?
I don't know, because girls, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel there's
What's your theory on that?
a sense of jealousy. Like, another question I have is, how do you kind of protect yourself from that jealousy? Because I feel, and I think one good thing about you is you do show your whole self. Like, you bring your authentic self, right? So it's not like you're portraying this, like, amazing vision of, like, perfection and, like, all of that. But still, there's a lot of jealousy on social media, and that's why I was thinking more girls, because I do feel girls can tend to do that on social media.
Yeah.
But it could
No,
be
for
guys
you?
as well.
It can be mixed. Like, I feel some guys who are not that liberal are very intimidated with the liberal South Asian women, especially, I mean, I'm not taking a country name, but especially growing up in India, I knew how things were.
We can take the country name. It's India,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
I'm saying it. But yeah.
No, but then there are a lot of, I'm not just saying India, but even US, I have met a lot of narrow mindset people. So it's not about the country. I just feel how you're educating your brain, how
Yeah.
you're getting adapted to the changing world, and you're not holding a gender in that light, which was, you know, in 80s, 90s, or when you grew up or you saw your mom or your sister. So I'm just saying that I get that kind of burn from the guys. But when it comes to girl,
Yeah,
I
what about
think
girls?
I think, Mac, you have an interesting point here, which I feel jealousy is an emotion, but I just always felt like, for me, I just deal with them in the most sometimes I don't, most of the times, 90% of the time, I don't reply to
Yeah.
hate DMs because I just feel like
It's a suck
not
of
wasting
negative
my
energy.
time. Yeah, I don't have
Your
time.
time is valuable,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't have
exactly.
time to reply to each and every person who has a problem with me. Actually, it's their problem at the
Yeah.
end of the day. I don't have
They're
a problem.
choosing to have a problem.
Right? But when I feel somebody I trusted being jealous with me, that has also happened, right? I mean, not everything is rose-tinted glasses, and not every friendship that I've had always been like amazing. I just feel I tried to clear the air, but if I feel I am pulling the maximum weight in the relationship, just like in love relationship, I always write this. Your friends are equally important as your love relationship. So all the important things that you want or you receive in love, you want the same things in friendship, right? If I'm only calling my friends, asking them to come out, if I'm the person who's telling them, hey, I miss you, I love you,
Yeah.
it's one-sided, right? And
Yeah.
nobody wants
And
one-sided
that
friendship.
hurts a lot.
Yeah. So if females are doing that to me, I just feel weird because I would always, you know me, how I am. Like, I would always be so happy if my close girlfriend did that. But I just don't know. I just tell them that, I tell in my head that this is time for them to grow, but I cannot teach them this. And I try to disassociate myself because I want peace around me. So I'm kind
Very
of person.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what people
Yeah.
should strive for. You folks brought up Girl Squad, right? So,
Yes.
what is Girl Squad? Why did you create Girl Squad? What is your vision with Girl Squad?
Yeah,
And-
where do you see it going?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or where do you see it?
So Girl Squad, actually, it's like, you know, when I was growing up in India, there were little things that when growing up, I used to always question whether it was females working in the kitchen, females heating the food, men of the family.
Like, what did you
eating.
question about that?
That who made these rules? Like, why is this happening in this way? Why is nobody having a problem with this? Like, why can't the females in the house eat food with the men? Why does, you know, they have to heat the food? And why? I know there were like really gender roles divided when you were growing up, and you know, in 80s, 90s, women were like the homemakers, men were the earning members of the family. I get it. But at least I felt that, okay, Saturday and Sunday when they were at home, and I'm not talking about just my father, because my father did help my mom, but when I used to go to other people's places, or in generic, when people used to come to my place, I always used to notice that females who are not part of my house are coming from outside and helping my mom in the kitchen, whereas my father and other men in the family are just chilling there. And I was like, this is not done. Why is this happening? Or I don't want to do this when I grow up. So I never learned to cook just because of this reason, that I did not wanted to follow the norm or these rules. And my mother and father were super chill. They're pretty liberal too. So they were like, okay, she wants to study, let her study, and she can always, you know, learn these things later. Or in India, you have cooks, right? So she can pay for a cook. Because they still did not believe that I'll come to United States. But once I started coming, and they were like super freaked out. They're like, how will you cook? How will you do things? But then I came to Arizona. My best friend, he's an amazing cook who lives in New York.
Yeah, and you learn, dude. People make such a big deal about cooking. You learn.
Actually, it's a skill. You can learn it so quickly. You can learn it at any time. I just feel, so that was always a motive. Then I always wanted to teach girl child in India, because the person who used to work at my place, and then various interaction, I joined a lot of NGOs there, and I knew that, you know, I had a privilege. I was born in a family that supported education, that did not differentiate between me and my brother. Like, my parents were so nice. They never pushed me. Like, we were middle class. We were not even higher class that, you know, girls do all this, but they never pushed me to learn how to cook. They never pushed me to get married before I leave to US. They always believed in my dream, pushed me to do that. In fact, in my house, I think Agman, my brother, used to do more kitchen chores. Like, if somebody used to come, he used to get trays, and that was never a differentiation that, hey, you're a girl, you should get the tray or the sweets or the water. So I just feel, when I looked around, that was not in every household, and I just felt that. So when I came to America and I started earning, I started supporting girl child education in India. And I was just like giving money home, because I trusted my mom, and people who were coming and working at my house, their kids, they can go to school. And I always made sure that the girls get to school, because in India still today, girls drop out of school more because they help their mother, they help their family, they get married off quickly because they are not looked as earning members of the family, right? So that was one thing always in my head. Then when I came to America, I realized in my batch there were more guy friends. I had more guy friends. Seattle, I came and I was like, okay, I need girls.
Friends. Yeah, because it's so hard to make girlfriends here.
It's very difficult. I think Seattle in that way, it's very difficult to meet new people. You have circles, but how to get out of that, right? And I wanted to meet my, similar mind individual females, because I know how much impact.
You want to have fun.
Yeah,
in essence,
more than fun.
Yeah.
I feel impact in your lives, right? Something that I posted today on Girl Squad too. The impact on your lives just increased, because that's not everything you can talk to a male or a man or your boyfriend.
Yeah, there's certain things that only a girl can relate to.
Yes.
And having the same frequency, same level of like women where like they're all supportive, everyone's like forward minded, they want to do good things, they're ambitious.
Right.
That's powerful.
And other thing was, growing up, I never saw, and this is something I said in the first meeting of Girl Squad too, like my mom always had friends who were my father's friends, wives.
Yeah.
And that I always questioned. So I did not wanted my kids in future to have the same doubt that why my mom doesn't have female friends. All friends she has are guy. Because I have more male friends in US, truthfully speaking. And I was just like, you know what, I have to find females like me. And if I don't find, at least I'll find out of 10, 1 or 2, and that'll be a blessing for me.
But it's turned out amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah. So in February, I got this idea. There was Women's Day coming up, and we were sitting in a cafe, Rishabh and I, and I'm like, you know what, I have quite a following on Instagram. I'll just post if somebody wants to catch up for Women's Day. And he's like, yeah, do it. But what is your purpose? I'm like, I'll just talk about something that, they want to discuss that they would not discuss out in the open. Because still, I feel when you go back to India, there are some hush-hush topics. And I'm pretty liberal. My mother is like, just don't be yourself all the time. Just try to calm down a little bit. But that's how I held the first meeting in March. And then I think 15 or 20 people turned up, which was amazing. And then we talked about such deep deep topics. And the meeting had to be for 2 hours, but we spent 3.5 hours there. And it was so amazing, like the energy. And of course, I'm not saying everybody is very like super positive, but sometimes when you create these environments, even the people who are on the edge of negative, they come out to the positive side, right? And that is what I'm trying to do here, that, you know, even females can have strong, powerful friendships if they just give another female a chance instead of taking them as their competition or thinking, you know, this person
Girls
is
do this a lot. And I have to say, I've also fell in this trap where you kind of get really competitive.
Yeah.
And then you have to tell yourself, no, I need to be inspired by this person.
So, Mehak, that is a very important point you brought, because growing up, even I had that bias. I'm not lying.
You always compare and you get so competitive.
And why? Did you ever
compare what?
Like other girls, right? When
other
you
girls.
enter a party, you
what are they wearing? Oh, like look at their hair, look at their makeup, their figure.
So this is a bias every female has. Why? Because again, I read a book, amazing. Like there are amazing books on this topic, and I read a book. I'm just forgetting the name of that book, but it told about how, like, you know, the social media or your society or your movies, like every movie that I watched growing up, Bollywood movie, there was one male protagonist and then there were 2 girls who were fighting for that male.
Yeah.
And then both the girls were compared, who, like in Indian movies, who looked more fairer, who dressed up
We've
better.
been pitted to
like,
compare each other.
Exactly.
I mean, makeup, all these clothes, social media was made for women. Like literally, women are the consumer.
Yeah. And then all the boys, we were okay with the jokes like, you know, this girl is looking better than you, or why don't you dress up that way, or why don't you have this kind of body shape? And I always felt that is so wrong. Like, and when I came to America, actually, that changed my mindset, because I started reading a lot. I started getting educated, and I feel I've learned a lot from, if I find a very powerful woman that I'm really inspired with, I try to follow her. I try to learn from her that what is she doing that I can take.
Yes.
And that has helped me so much. And I feel that's what I'm trying to drive through Girl Squad, that you don't have to compete against each other. You can be good of friends and you can learn from each other.
And help boost each other.
Grow. Yeah.
How did you get rid of that comparison mindset? Because I will honestly say, I sometimes still fall in that, and then I have to literally tell myself, no, this person is on their journey, I'm on my journey. I can learn from them and I can be inspired, but it's I literally talk to myself.
Yeah.
and I'm unlearning it.
I think it's just a self-worth thing. So once you believe that whatever you are doing is good for yourself and you are giving your 100%, and nobody in this life can take this away from you, it's your individuality, right? Tomorrow people cannot take this away from me, my brain, my individuality. And that is something I believe in, right? If a female comes into my life and she is able to disrupt a relationship in my life, that means that relationship is not solid. It has nothing to do with me, right? As a person. So that's something I've learned with reading, with understanding, then of course conditioning my brain not to think in that direction, because
you have to tell yourself that change this pattern of thinking.
Yes, but I feel right now, truthfully speaking, I don't feel zero jealousy towards a girl. If a girl walks out and she is dressed up nicely, she's looking amazing. In fact, I'll go and compliment her. I love your earrings, or I love your dress. Where did you get that dress from?
Yeah.
And I feel if every female starts doing that, because that is so natural in men.
Yeah.
Like when I look at
men don't really.
Do you know why? Do you know why? There's a book called Into My Mind, and then there's a psychology behind it. In general, women are more attracted to people, like the psychology of people, and men are more attracted to things. Let me give you an example. For example, you mentioned, right, usually a girl will go like, hey, that girl is looking this way, how does she have these particular traits, and I want to be like that. But a boy will not be attracted to a human being as such in that way. They'll be attracted to things. For example, if I watch the movie,
look at that car.
No, look at that car, look at that bike. For example, the movie Dhoom, right? That is the first example that is coming to my mind. John Abraham was looking sexy as fuck, but I was not focused on him. I was focused on his bike. That's because in general, not all the people, but women tend to like focus more on people, and men tend to focus more on things. And that's one of the reasons why this mindset of a girl that you're saying, that hey, you try to like pit yourself against someone who's better than you, or you try to pit yourself someone who's worse than you and make yourself better. That is very prevalent in women than in men.
And do you think that's a cause of social conditioning? Because I feel it is. Like when you are born and brought up, what kind of dress you are wearing, right? Like if you go to a birthday party,
like her.
Exactly.
I mean, Adya talked about this, you know, they see parents compare so much.
So it's not only about Desi parents. Even I've watched videos over here that American parents do that.
It's subtle conditioning.
It's subtle conditioning.
Micro.
People don't don't
Have you
understand.
read the book Brave Not Perfect by Reshma Saujani?
No, I've heard of it though.
She talks about it, like how little girls are perceived that you don't have to be brave, you have to be perfect. Don't let your hair go this way. You know, your dress
Brush
shouldn't
your
get
hair,
muddy.
yeah.
Whereas the boys, they are asked to play in the dirt. They are asked to pull hair. They're like, you know, why don't you get up and fight with that person?
Yeah.
I just feel it's social conditioning. Also, it's the books, it's the movie, it's media. So now things are changing. Now I can see more powerful women, like Four Shots Down kind of, you know, series, or Sex and the City, in which there are
Sex
strong
and the City. Oh my god.
female friendships, right? So
Dude, Sex and the City is like iconic. Like
I
not
know.
just for the clothes and everything, but just the way
friendship.
they show women supporting one
Yes.
another and like being powerful and like living their life on their terms.
I know. And I know women can be more powerful in their relationship if they want to, because they are more emotionally connected. We have higher EQs
Correct. I
than
agree with
men.
that.
So
Men have very
And that's
low
again to the
EQ.
reason.
Yeah.
Again, reason being you focus so much on people that
People.
your EQ like starts like rising up right from a very early age.
Right.
And men considerably are dumb because they only focus on materialistic things.
Not always.
Like-
but
not
yeah.
always. I
this-
would say yeah.
Psyche is for things mostly. It's not about like people don't interest boys in or men in general as much as things do. That's where I'm getting
So
to.
how have you sort of cultivated and built your self-worth, and how has it changed over time? Like, I'm sure there were times in your life where you had maybe lower confidence or very low moments, and then you started loving yourself more. Can you share more about that journey?
Yeah. So I think confidence, like growing up, there was a lot of push from my parents, especially my dad, who made me perform like in dance competitions and debates, like early on from 5th grade.
So you
6th
were in
grade.
extracurriculars right from the start, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
because he used to push me. I still remember, like when I was 7 years old or something, and there was this dance comp, and I totally froze on the stage. Like I had to give an audition, and I couldn't move. Like that was the moment. And then my father, he came up, he took me off the stage, he gave me like a very good pep talk, and then by that time the audition ended. Then he talked to the judges. He went to one of the judges' houses, and I auditioned there. And he was like, "I have
I'm
to
gonna make you do
audition."
this.
Yeah, and then I performed. That was his passion and determination to help me as a child
And
that,
build that confidence.
Yeah, he built that confidence in me, I would say, and that confidence was always there. That when I graduated out of school, I was like, you know what, I don't want to study in the same city. I need to do my undergrad somewhere else because I want to be independent. And they always push me to do that. So I think a lot of confidence comes from your upbringing and your
Very much so.
social conditions, right? And my parents always pushed me in that. So there was never a down moment for confidence. Self-worth, yes. In the past, I've been in some horrible relationships. So I feel, yeah, self-worth was questioned there. But then again, as a person, I'm pretty positive. So it's something that comes naturally. I didn't do anything specific for it. But I just didn't want it to be sad. I did not want it to be like a drama person crying over a guy, and I just pulled myself up and broke up with that person. And I was just like, from that day onwards, I was like, if I'm getting into something, I better be sure, or I'm not wasting my time. My time is precious. I have bigger goals than guys. So that was an important moment.
What
in
are
my
your
life.
goals?
Yeah,
Now that
I
you
wanna
brought it
know,
up, right? What are your
does
goals?
Ankita want to do in life?
Like give people an insight of like where do you see yourself in like 10 years?
Wow.
And
I'm
what are
very-
you
in
doing?
each of the segments, you
Okay,
know,
let's
you can
just
break
do
it up
let's
by-
leave 10 years, 5 years.
Yeah, so truthfully speaking, I've not thought particularly like where do I see myself, but I take it in the skill forms. Like I think you can do better if you know that there are areas of improvement, areas of growth, or areas that you really want to be good at. So like for example, my job, right? Product management. So I try to learn and I want to be at a better position that I am today. I don't want to add a title to it because like in our industry specifically, every company has a different title, they have different job, and I don't know what will I be doing, right? So in terms of my professional things, I want to keep working, I want to keep hustling, keep learning. That is my
Do you
goal.
want to stay in product, or do you want to go open your own company, or what does that look like?
That's a great question. I think for now, I want to stay in product because it helps me get a sneak peek into technology. I meet
Okay.
amazing people
Yeah.
with amazing, brilliant minds, and I've made my network that ways. And I love that. Like if I not been in Microsoft, I would have not made my network so strong. So I feel that ways. Then in my social life, I think as a person, I am learning a lot. I'm evolving, right? I see a lot of growth areas where I can improve. So like I said, I don't have like a bucket list that, hey, I want a $10 million house, or I want this car, or, you know, something fancy
Why
title. because I just feel if you are building your skills, those things will come.
Byproducts, right? Those
Yeah,
are-
exactly.
So you're not focused on like a number title or something. You're focused on the
Right.
skills it'll take for you to get there.
Right. That is what I'm focused on. So my goals in life is like to grow in those areas, like to become maybe a better content creator, right? Because I love creating content. That is my passion.
Where do you see would you want to do social media full time, like influencing?
No,
No.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, humble brag time. What do you think are your best qualities, and what do you think are the skills that you can like improve on in the next
Okay.
2 years? And don't like let yourself free in like complimenting yourself,
That's hard. That's hard for
but
me.
still go for it.
But
yeah.
I think something that I've heard, because we ask these questions to close friends and family, and I'll take the things that they have used to describe me.
Mhm.
So I feel discipline is number one. I am very disciplined. If I put my mind and focus to something, I will achieve it. The second is resilience. I feel there are dull moments. Of course, I'm human. I'm sad on days. But the time I take to come back is like very minimal. I don't waste time crying. I don't waste time sulking. So I think resilience is another one. I'm hardworking. Like if I want to do something, I will. But if I don't want to, then nobody can push me there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I pick
yeah.
and choose my motivation.
Yeah,
I want to do this,
exactly.
I will do it. But you,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I'm pretty confident and a big feminist. That helps me in various areas. I feel I try to value everybody's mindset. I give them that opportunity rather than being, oh, this is only the right way. Even in discussions or arguments that Rishabh and I have, we always try to find the middle ground, or agree to disagree rather than saying my way or the highway kind of things. So those are my good things. Things where I can improve on, I feel personally at this point, will be giving myself a break. I can be hard on myself. Truthfully speaking, I'm not that hard on others. Like if some close friend of mine comes for an advice, the kind of advice I'll give that person versus what I'll
Different for
do to
yourself.
myself will be totally different.
Like, give me an example. I'm not understanding that.
Like for example, if I am, if I'm not feeling that great and I took a day off, next
You'll
day,
feel bad about it,
yeah,
right?
I'll feel bad about it. Next
But
day
to your
I'll
friend,
work
you'll be like, it's
2x.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
2x hard.
Interesting.
I'll work the next day, and I just I will punish my body for being slow on day one. Whereas if my close friend comes and tell me, hey, I'm not feeling well, I'll be like,
Relax.
you know what, relax, take a break. Why are you thinking this much? That is one thing I need to be more respectful about my own body, which I'm not, in terms of not pushing it so far. Then I think everything else, it's just like time management and stuff. I can be super, like if I've organized something, then I can put Rishabh on the spot and say, hey, you have to do this, this, which I think we are free flowing and we are learning from each other. And that is an area, right? Once you start living with somebody, it's a very different ball game.
Do you think so? Like, yeah, that's something everyone says, that you could date someone and spend a lot of time, but it's very different than living.
That's
with
true.
somebody.
I mean, if you're independent, female or male, and you've lived alone your entire life, sharing a room, a bathroom, your home, your holidays, your weekends, is challenging because every person has their own dreams, aspirations, desires. And then how do you navigate that differences and then have a middle ground? And then, I believe in having different set of friends, because it just helps you nurtures your personality.
You can have some common friends, but having separate friends. And what do you do for like alone time? Like, kind of, is working out your sanctuary of alone time?
Like alone time,
Like
without
just,
Rishabh, you mean?
Kind of space for
I
yourself.
I think walks, working out, dancing. I love dancing. So dancing is another way that I go alone and try to, find my own sweet spot kind of things. And then I think reading. That is something I want to do alone.
Nice. Do you read a lot?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I try to read at least 20 or 50 pages in a day.
Oh, wow. What
You're
do you,
such a learned person. You're
Yeah,
so
I love
passionate
it.
about like things that like give you a kick in the morning as well. For example, like you invest time in your social media, you invest time in reading, you invest time in your body, in meal prepping, in your relationship, everything, right? So from a person who I think can be deemed successful right now, what advice would you give a person who looks up to you or who's not in a phase where you are currently, or who's just like starting to build his life? What advice would you give them right now if they're watching this tidbit and they're interested in you and like they want to just make themselves feel better as well?
Yeah, I totally believe, like I would say 3 things. First is believe in yourself, because everything comes from within. Like if you don't believe in yourself, trust me, the world, the social media, everything can convince you in like a click of a finger that, you know, you're not enough. So I feel that kind of ideology, if you have set your brain to that, it's very difficult for somebody, some person, some event to happen that can break your confidence. So believing in yourself. Then second is like, just be nice, kind, because I believe in karma. Truthfully speaking, I do.
So true.
I mean, whatever you give, you put in this world, there's an energy, like you were talking about energies, that energy come back. So I have met some really negative people in my life, and the kind of energy they put in the world, that's the kind of energy they receive, because they see everybody in that negative light, but everybody is not that negative, right? You have to give people chances, and I'm saying 100% of the time you won't succeed, but 10-20% if you succeed, that is good and good enough, right? So be kind, be nice, and then last but not the least, I would say that there's no shortcut to success, so you have to work hard, you have to be disciplined.
You can get lucky sometimes, but hard work
trumps
cannot
everything,
be replaced.
Yeah, I mean, of course you can get lucky, but how will you sustain it?
Yeah,
like
you have
once
to
you
put
get
in the work.
something. So yes, I feel those are the top three.
To quote your second point, right? I have this best line that I always tell people: it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Yeah.
So people will thank you so much. Like Ankita, I had
This
an
is
amazing
amazing.
time. Like
Yeah.
like just to give you an insight, 1 hour already passed
Oh,
in this
really?
Can
conversation.
you believe it?
No.
And I
Yes.
think your zest and your passion and excitement to just continue to
Yes.
be the best is extreme, and like the best version for you, and to bring
Yeah.
your best self and work on yourself. I mean, that's amazing.
Dude, I super appreciate you for coming in today. We are definitely going to do a round 2. And on round 2, I'm going to like pinch on like more deep topics specifically like that you were going to like talk about for a long time, and like going to like poke on those as well. But I
Right.
super appreciate you coming, Ankita. It was such an
It was
amazing time
so
having
fun.
you.
Yeah.
Before we leave, right, where can, like, for people like my audience who hasn't discovered you yet, I don't think that is possible, but if in case that's the case, right, where can people follow you? Where can people look at your work that you're doing, be it social media, be it your blogs, be it anything that you do on internet?
Absolutely. Thank
And
you so much for
watch on this
having
camera.
me.
Yeah, watch on this camera.
I'll first say that. Thank
Yes.
you, Golan and Mehak.
Yay.
This was so good.
Yeah.
Really, 1 hour? I don't believe that. I was just chatting.
Yes.
I think you can find me, if you want to read my blogs, go to browngirlintech.com. On LinkedIn, you can find me at ankita.mishra04, and the same creds, ankita.mishra04, are on Instagram. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Dude,
so
before
much.
I go, right, like, why are you not on YouTube? Why are you not doing
Girl,
vlogs and all? Dude,
I'm
you
gonna
totally
get on
should.
YouTube. You should get on YouTube.
I
Yes.
think, I don't know, a lot of people have asked me, truthfully, I've got like 100 plus DMs that I should come to YouTube. But right now, life was just so busy. I was juggling
Dude,
a
YouTube
lot.
is a lot of work.
Yeah,
The amount of editing and like video quality and like
Right.
just like this video. I mean, you used to say it used to take you like 8 hours to
Yeah,
edit
dude,
a
it was
podcast.
crazy initially.
Yeah, but never say never. Maybe
Never
in
say never.
2023,
Who knows?
because yeah, I want to start something new. So maybe 2023.
I really
Yeah,
wanna do
let's
YouTube
wait for
too.
Ankita's vlog. But thank you so much, Ankita. I super appreciate
Thank you.
you coming on the podcast, and it was an amazing conversation, folks. Episode, I guess 28 got wrapped up. Thank you so much for following. Please like, share, subscribe. This is Mehak's Instagram,
Yes, follow
Mehak's
me as well.
Facebook.
Thank you.
This is my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube. Please give me a follow. Subscribe to my channel if I have 10k followers or 10k subscribers by the end of this year. Sorry, my mic is should be close. If I have 10k subscribers by the end of this year, I'll be sending out one set of merchandise to 10 people out there. So
Woo!
just go for it. But till then, peace. Bye bye. What's up, people? What a month it has been. From a place where Rishi Sunak and a dog literally entered the parliament of British, and there used to be a saying that, hey, dogs and Indians are not allowed. That's been a big leap in all of mankind. From Jake Paul defeating Anderson Silva, who's also known as a Spider-Man, right? An MMA goat. From Logan Paul getting into the ring with Roman Reigns, one of the biggest WWE spectacles that have happened. He's also announcing his fight with John Cena. A lot of firings happening in the tech world, and so much more happened this month. And also another podcast of mine got deleted. Why? I'll tell you the reason later.